Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Monday, the 5th of April, 2021. And I hope you all are safe today. I hope you're healthy today. There appears to be a second wave of this virus attacking people in other parts of the world. And there also appears to be some bad reactions to some of the cures that are going on also. So I hope that you're safe. I hope that you're healthy and protecting yourself in this dangerous environment in which we live. I also want to give a shout out and blessings upon those in the healthcare field that are doing their best to protect, to comfort, to help heal people that are sick and vulnerable and placed in bad health positions. We also ask for a blessing upon those that deliver garbage in this disease-filled environment, as well as those that make deliveries for us, for us to go about our daily lives and get the necessities we need and deliver goods and services that we need on a daily basis. Also, blessings on those that in the midst of all of this craziness are trying to help boys and girls and young women and men caught up in sex slave operations, and curses on those that support such disgusting industries, as well as blessings on those helping the homeless. And that's going to be unfortunately increasing with this situation that we're in. Blessings on those helping the homeless as well as the homeless themselves, and may that situation be forever banished in the years to come. So there were a couple of basketball games over the weekend. The Knicks had a back-to-back. Friday night they played Dallas, and then Saturday night they played the Pistons. The Dallas game was a tough game for us because of several reasons. Number one, the Knicks were banged up, but then again, all the NBA teams at this point are banged up. I don't think there is an NBA team that's without injury right now. That's not unusual. That's generally the case in an NBA season. That's one of the reasons why you appreciate a Tom Thibodeau that really whips his players into shape from training camp, and before it wants them working out before training camp. So because the NBA season is a marathon, and it can be very demanding. And so you're going to get a lot of nicks and cuts, and you're going to get a lot of bruises. You're going to get a lot of sprains. And unfortunately, sometimes you get serious injury that ends a player's season. So, the Knicks were banged up. They were running into after a 2-game losing streak from last week, a disappointing loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They were running into a red hot Dallas team. And of course, so they ended up losing that game, on Friday. But then they bounced back Saturday night and played what I think is one of the best games they played this season. And the reason I say that is not because of the lopsided score. They won over the Pistons by 44 points. It wasn't that. And it wasn't just the lopsided score. It was the first time I see that the Knicks actually came close to playing a complete 48 minutes of good basketball, of staying focused, of continuing to play the game the right way. And not only from the starters and the people that are in the 9-man to 10-man rotation that Tom Thibodeau uses, but even to the 15th guy, when they started putting in the garbage time players, when Kevin came in, when Frank came in, when Pell came in, when the guys came in off the bench, and Pinson, they played the same level of good basketball the right way that the players that played the majority of the game played. And so in that regard, even though the second quarter, I think the Knicks lost that quarter by 7 points to Detroit, it was the closest that the Knicks came. That's why I saw that they had the big lead. It was 41-15 after the first quarter. And then as in this season, what we have seen from the Knicks too often is that when they get such a big lead, they start to slack off. And just maybe a week and a half ago, they were almost laughing at one big lead they had, and they almost lost that game. I forgot who it was against, but the team did not give up, and they almost lost that game. And in fact, the Minnesota game, they had an 18-point lead and lost the game. And that's in part, in fact, in most part, because they lose focus and stop playing basketball the right way. What do I mean the right way? Well, generally, when we talk about playing basketball the right way, offensively, what that means is the ball must move. The ball has to move because the ball moves through the air faster than any person can run in basketball. So because of that, you want the ball to keep moving. You want to hit the open man. You want to take open shots when you have them, and you don't want to force bad shots. Okay, that's offensively. Defensively, you want to scramble. You want to cover all your areas. You want to get, basically it's a series of getting, in from point A to point B, which is generally between, 1 foot and 5 feet very quickly, and understanding where the ball is going to be by having studied your opponent and putting them in a position to take the worst shot that they could take. Okay. That's playing basketball the right way. And of course, fundamentally being able to box out and get your rebounds and get your 50-50 balls and diving on the floor if you need to. Okay. That's basketball the way it's played. And it's a cursory way of saying it, but it's overview of what basketball looks like when it's played the right way. In the New York Knicks case, it's a little bit more nuanced because of the coach they have. And so, with Tom Thibodeau, he says all of that, but he demands a high level of defensive intensity. Such so that sometimes it does affect the offense because of the energy that they use on the defensive end. Fine. I mean, but that's why you see a lot of the Knicks games that I was telling you from the beginning of the season. Some of y'all didn't want to believe that. The basketball's changed. There's no way they're going to play that kind of defense in this day and age. Well, they do. And so you see a lot of the Knicks games where one or both teams are under 100 points. A lot of games like that. So it's because of the level of defense that a defensive genius like Tom Thibodeau has them playing. Okay. We just lost, by the way, a major cog of that defense in Mike Woodson. Because he went to, and I'm not blaming Mike Woodson. He did the right thing, going to his alma mater, University of Indiana, to take the head coaching spot and getting a 5 or 6 year deal, to do that. Good for him. He deserves that, for real. But he's going to be hard to replace because he was also, along with Tom Thibodeau, architect of the defense that the Knicks are playing right now. Just the way Tom Thibodeau, as an assistant coach, was the architect of Doc Rivers' defense in Boston that won the championship in 2008. Most people don't realize that. A lot of people, when they hired Tom Thibodeau, didn't know that. But Tom Thibodeau was the architect of that defense led by Kevin Garnett that won the championship in 2008 with the Boston Celtics. And so sometimes assistant coaches that play like that defense coordinator role are extremely important. Okay. So we lost a big one there with Mike Woodson, and I'm hoping that the Knicks can find some way to replace him. But that being the case, the Knicks actually, that game against Detroit was the first game they actually won since Woodson accepted the job, to tell you how important he is. So, but they did play 48 minutes or close to it of high level basketball, playing it the right way. And with Tom Thibodeau, it means extra effort on the defensive end. It means getting your 50-50 balls. He really concentrates on that. Okay. Offensively, it's the same though. Hit the open man, take the shot if you get it. No matter if you've missed 20 in a row, if that shot is open, take the shot. And don't hesitate, because what happens, like, for example, with Elfrid Payton or Frank Ntilikina, if there's an open shot and you don't take it, now your team has to scramble to create another open shot. And it uses time off the clock, and you're risking a 24-second violation or a bad shot. All right. So take the shot when you get it. Okay. And then, work from there. Try to get the offensive rebound if it's going to be off. And especially if your teammates know you as a player. For example, we know Elfrid Payton can't shoot, and we also know that he shoots line drives. Well, one of the greatest rebounders in the history of basketball was Bill Russell. And one of the reasons he would tell you that he was one of the greatest rebounders in the history of basketball is because he knew his teammates. He knew where they were going to shoot from. He knew and studied how their shot was and where it would go off most likely based on who was shooting it. So we know that Elfrid Payton shoots line drives. Basically, his shots either hit the front rim, but they come straight backwards. So if you know that and you're a New York Knicks teammate, you should be in position understanding where most of the times his shots are going to be off. Okay. Little nuances like that help you win basketball games, help you get offensive rebounds. And I believe the Knicks are playing that way. So that being the case, it was really good to see them play that type of ball. It doesn't matter which team. It doesn't matter how bad the team was. It's an NBA game against an NBA team, and they played high level of basketball. Now, why is that important for tonight's game? Because tonight they have a really big game. This game is against Brooklyn. Now, Brooklyn just lost last night to Chicago because they did not have either Kevin Durant or James Harden. They had Kyrie Irving. Okay, they played with Kyrie Irving, and they still had Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge, and they lost to Brooklyn. Now, Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge are, let me put it this way. Offensively, they still have a lot left. They still have a lot left offensively. Blake Griffin less so because he has lost. He has absolutely lost all of his athleticism. The athleticism he had when he came into the league that he was dominating, he doesn't have anymore. He has basically changed his game. He has a really good jump shot. I mean, not a jump shot even. It's a set shot. He's very big and strong, and he he's good at bully ball now. That's the game that Blake Griffin plays. He plays the bully ball game now, and he's very good at it. And then, LaMarcus Aldridge his game was always predicated on the mid range, and he's still very good at hitting that mid range shot. That being said, both of them, LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin, suck on the defensive end. They just don't have anything left on the defensive end. And that's going to be a problem for Brooklyn, not just from them two, but in general. Kyrie Irving doesn't play good defense, not for the extent that they can play good defense for a short period of time, but not for 24 seconds of a shot clock and not for a 48-minute game. They cannot. Okay. They can all score on you all night long. All right. And they're almost impossible to guard. I mean, Kyrie Irving and James Harden and Durant are about as unguardable as you can get pretty much, in basketball. So they can be unguardable on that end, but they can't guard anybody. And why do I bring up all of this? This gives the Knicks a chance tonight. Already the report has come out as of this morning. James Harden's not playing tonight. And so he's out. So you might get Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Okay. The Knicks play, the best defense in the NBA. I mean, with them, the Knicks, Philadelphia, as we know, Milwaukee, and of course, the Miami Heat, all Eastern Conference teams, by the way, they play the best defense in basketball. All of those four teams. Okay. And so when it comes to that being the case, what does that do for us against an explosive offensive talents that the Nets have? Like, say Durant plays tonight. I don't know if he's going to, but let's say he does. Let's say Kyrie Irving plays tonight. Of course, we're expecting him to play. You can't stop that team. Nobody can. I mean, great offense is going to beat great defense. They're going to score, put it that way. But if you can keep them below what they're used to scoring or make it very difficult for them to score what they're used to scoring, you can win the game because they're not going to be able to put the effort on the defensive end. And on the offensive end for the Knicks, if they play basketball the right way, which means the ball must move, you must take your open shots. You must make the right pass if they double team you, Julius Randle. And just deal with the consequence. Whoever's shooting it, if they have an open shot, take it. Now, I don't like Elfrid Payton getting all these minutes. I mean, I'm just going to say Frank Ntilikina, if they're going to play Elfrid Payton, Frank Ntilikina should have been getting all of those minutes all year. But that's not the case. So we can't do nothing about that. Thibodeau has chosen Payton, and he's what we got. And so we're going to war with him. So it is what it is. But even if it's Elfrid Payton getting open shot, he's got to take the shot. And we will have a good chance of getting the offensive boards if he takes good shots, the shots that he has open. Okay. So that means for us tonight, two things. If they let Julius Randle go one-on-one, if they try to guard Julius Randle one-on-one, and he gets open shots from the 3-point line in, he's got to take the shot. Okay. He has got to take the shot. That's another thing that has hurt us at times. Julius has sometimes been extremely unselfish and given up shots in the beginning of a game that the defense is giving him to get his teammates involved. And I hear that, but he needs to take the shot if he's open from his favorite spots. And now we've seen his favorite spots. He likes that fadeaway on the right side of the key, right? He likes that hop step into the middle of the key from the left side and takes that shot. He likes the 3-pointer from both corners and straight away. Okay. He likes these shots. These are Julius Randle shots. And of course, if he gets the ball in the low block, he either fades away into that shot from the right side of the key, or he bully balls you and gets in the middle again and gets his shot off from there. So he's really tough. So if they try to guard him one-on-one and he gets these opportunities, and again, it's not like we don't want Julius taking up 10 seconds of the shot clock either. He's got to take the shot within 2 or 3 seconds. He's got to get the ball, make a decision, either make a move or give it up. Okay. That used to hurt us when we had Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony in his prime was one of the most unstoppable players in NBA history. He really was an unstoppable offensive force. Problem was he would use 10 seconds of the shot clock to get his shot off. Okay. And that's not good for the movement of the ball. That's not good for the offense. That's not good for his teammates. He would score, but then when it comes crunch time, nobody else has touched the ball most of the game. Okay. So, and one of the things, and I'm not saying Phil Jackson handled Carmelo Anthony in any way proper. He did not. He interfered more than anything else. But one thing he did say that they did stress, and even Woodson stressed it in his last 2 seasons with the Knicks before they fired him, which they shouldn't have done. But they were telling Carmelo, if you don't see what you want to do within 2 or 3 seconds, once you get the ball, give it up. And you'll get it back. Don't trust your teammates. You'll get it back. But give up the rock. And that way, you're not using up the shot clock, trying to get one shot off. Okay. We might have an opportunity for 2 shots or an offensive rebound, right? So that's what Julius has got to do. And he does it. Julius has been very good at that this year. He really has. So he has to do that. When he gets the ball, he has to make a decision. Is somebody open? Is he open? Are they doubling him? And he needs to make a decision. And he's been doing this on a very high level this year, which is one of the secrets of him being an all-star. And possibly even all NBA, because that's been one of the secrets of him doing it. So tonight, they got to do that. They got to play basketball the right way, take the shots that are open, play the same stellar defense, no matter what. If Kyrie Irving and Durant are hitting shots over them with people draped all over them, fine. We'll live with that. Just keep doing it. Cause in them trying to do that, they're going to waste energy that's going to be used for us on the offensive end. Okay. They were going to waste energy. They're not going to be able to play defense, especially for 48 minutes. So if the Knicks can play basketball the right way, if Julius Randle can read what the defense is giving him, whether it means pass or shoot, and if all the Knicks, including Elfrid Payton and especially him, take their open shots and Reggie Bullock as well. Reggie Bullock, by the way, was probably, one of the MVPs, him and Julius, in Saturday night's win, because he was doing that. He was hitting his open shot. He was playing tough defense. Okay. And so, I like Reggie Bullock, but, I think he's better off. I still think on a championship team, Reggie Bullock's a bench piece. He's in the rotation, but he's a bench piece. You could get better than him in the starting lineup, but this is what we got right now. So we got a poor man's Lau Deng, for Tom Thibodeau. We got the poor man Deng right now in Reggie Bullock, and that's what we got. Again, we can't do anything about that. We go into war with that. That's what we have right now. So we got to go forward with it. Okay. So, he's been playing pretty well though. Okay. So especially since the last game. So this is good coming into tonight because the Knicks are 25-25. All of the teams that are, in the contention with the Knicks in the Eastern Conference, we're talking about Charlotte, Miami, and Atlanta and Boston. Those teams like between, let's say, Atlanta, who is now tied with Miami for the 4th seed, and Boston and the Knicks, you're talking about one game. That's one game separates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams. One game. Okay. They're a game apart right now. The Knicks are a half game behind Charlotte and they're a game behind the Miami and Atlanta. Now, Miami and Atlanta and Charlotte, they all have very difficult games coming up this week. So if the Knicks can beat Brooklyn tonight, we'll be 26-25, and it would at least put us in a position to be in a tie, for the 4th or 5th seed again, like we've been all season. And by the way, unless the Knicks collapse, what you've been seeing all season is what's going to happen all the way through. I don't think there's going to be any surprise unless somebody loses a major player to injury. You're going to see this play out. The Knicks are going to be between the 4th and the 6th seed. I think going into the playoffs because they've been that way. They've been playing 500 ball all year. Don't let some people get tripped out on a 3-game you losing streak and start calling for the Knicks total collapse and trade everybody. And now we're looking at next year. Look, the Knicks are in this thing. Okay. The Knicks are a playoff team. They've been playing 500 basketball the whole season. Now, that doesn't sound great, except you think about the fact that they've been only winning 21 games for the last couple of seasons, right? And nobody expected them to play anything close to 500 basketball this year. But they've been playing 500 ball all year, and I think they're going to continue to play 500 basketball or a little better. So if we can get 2 or 3 games above 500, that would be a major thing for the Knicks, especially in this playoff race that we're looking at. So right now, for example, Atlanta and Miami are 26-24, 2 games above 500, and they're tied for the 4th seed. Charlotte is 1 game above 500, and they're in the 6th seed. The Knicks are at 500 with Boston, and they're tied for the 7th. Right? That's, so it's a tight situation. So this schedule, this week schedule for NBA, you're talking about for example, let's see, tonight, who plays tonight? Well, we know we play Brooklyn tonight. None of our real Tuesday. Let's see. Boston plays Philly Tuesday. That's a big game, and Embiid is back. So that's a likely loss to me for Boston. All right. Miami plays Memphis at home. That's going to be a tough game, but Memphis can beat them. That's possible that Memphis can beat them. It's not impossible to say Memphis could beat Miami. Atlanta is at home against New Orleans. New Orleans ball just went off last night. There was no Ingram, no Williamson, and he just destroyed He hit 8 3-pointers yesterday. Ball hit 8 3-pointers yesterday, man. And so, there's that. So, who did they play? They beat Houston. Well, Houston's a terrible team, but still, he hit 8 3-pointers yesterday. So, and that was with no Ingram and no Zion. Okay. So, they're capable of beating anybody on any given night. So then on Wednesday, we play at Boston. Okay. We play at Boston. Atlanta and Memphis play. So, this is going to be a big week for everybody, man. This is a big week. Thursday, who else we got? I'm looking and see who, of our main, competition. Let's see. Philly, no. Charlotte plays at Milwaukee on Friday. See what I'm saying? They play at Milwaukee on Friday. No LaMelo Ball. Gordon Hayward recently sprained his foot and he's out 4 weeks. Okay. So this is what I'm saying. We have opportunity to make up some ground right here. Okay. Gordon Hayward's out 4 weeks. Jaylen Brown, sprained his knee the other day and he's listed as day to day. So, like I'm saying, this stuff like that, it makes a big deal at this part of the season. So the Knicks, D Rose was dealing with a sprained ankle. Bullock was dealing with a sprained ankle. Pretty much, I think that's pretty much our, major injury report this year. Julius was banged up, but he's tough. Julius is like, 6'9", 250. He's going to be fine. So, this is our chance, I'm saying, for us to make up some ground and even possibly gain some ground. So tonight is a big game. We have to really come to play and win this game against Brooklyn. I don't care who they put out. If they bring all their big 3 out, we got to win this game. So I'm expecting a big effort from the Knicks. I want them to come out with defensive intensity. I'm expecting them to play basketball offensively the right way, not force anything, not try to go too much one-on-one, pick their spots, move the basketball, hit the open man. That's what I'm looking for from them. And of course, it is doubly important because we're playing Brooklyn, and I hate Brooklyn. Can't stand Brooklyn. I love the borough, but I hate their team. Love the borough, Brooklyn. Love the Brooklyn. A lot of family in Brooklyn. Brooklyn's rich in culture and history. I just hate their basketball team. Can't stand the Nets. So, yeah, it's that too. So we got to come out and be ready to play tonight. It's a big night. So 7 o'clock is the game. It's going to be on NBA TV tonight. Yeah. We looking for this win here. Let's do what we got to do, New York, and get this win. So let's root for our squad. In the meantime, happy Monday to y'all. Please be safe out there. Have a great Monday. And we'll talk to y'all tomorrow morning after the game. Let's go Knicks. Shalom.